Man, that's addicting. Hey, what's going on? Today we're obviously talking about the Mi Mix 3 from Xiaomi, the slider with no notch and no bezel. Now, something I'm going to address in this video, and I'll make sure I boost the volume later on so you guys can hear it, is there any wobble here in the sliding mechanism? Does it feel weird when you type hard on the phone or push down hard on the screen? And if that's all that you care about, you can go ahead and jump to stuff that I don't like. I'll have a time code down in the description below so you can go ahead and see that content. Now, with that said, I do still think this is a great phone and a great value. Just, hey, it's a slider. No phone is perfect. Are the trade-offs worth having no bezel and no notch for you personally? And let me know in the comments down below what your favorite implementation of a bezel-less design is. Do you like having a little bezel like you do with Samsung, or maybe even a Pixel and just put some big speakers there? Do you like the slider? Do you like the notch? Do you like something like the dual screen implementation that Meizu and Vivo have tried with the screen on the front and the back? Make sure you let me know in the comments down below. I'm really interested to see what you guys think. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and slide into this review. That pun was horrible. Alright, so starting off with the positives and what I like about the phone. Gorgeous screen, no notch, no bezel. It's a beautiful Samsung AMOLED display. You can see it right there. No bezel, no notch, which is kind of the point of the phone, and why we have the slider. And by the way, if you just want to know about the sliding mechanism, that's actually going to be in things that I don't like, so check the description for time codes to jump ahead to that. And that also brings up my question of the day. What is your favorite implementation of a bezel-less design? Do you like having dual screens, a screen on front and back? Do you like the slider? Do you care if there's a notch? Let me know in the comments down below. Moving on to the next thing that I like, the cameras. This phone has great cameras front and back. 24 megapixel selfie camera there, and on the back, obviously, we get a great camera, Sony sensors. And Xiaomi knows this, and they want you to know it too. When you open the phone, the screen protector on the front of it says 108 on DxO Mark. If you guys don't know what DxO Mark is, it's not the be-all end-all, but they rate a bunch of different cameras, including mobile cameras, so you can get an idea of where phones lie and their camera performance and where they excel and fail. The next thing that I like, and this is kind of unique to the Mix series, ceramic back. You can see it's still a fingerprint magnet just like glass, still shiny just like glass, there I am, but it's not going to scratch nearly as easy as glass does. For example, this ring that I have there is a ceramic wedding ring. I wear it when I play sand volleyball and things like that. I've yet to scratch it, so I definitely dig the ceramic back. And if you're really interested in the durability of the ceramic back, check out Jerry Everything's video on it. He put it through his torture test, and I was pretty happy with the results. Next thing, this one's going to be kind of hard to show off. Crazy fast fingerprint sensor. I mean, you touch it, the phone unlocks. Super quick, and Xiaomi and Huawei have the two fastest fingerprint sensors that I've ever used on a phone. This one is no exception, really quick. And the last thing that I like, MIUI 10. Now, this is the most subjective thing on this list, but you guys know if you've been following my channel for any amount of time, I love MIUI. It's my favorite Android skin, so having MIUI 10 is a major plus for me. And with the switch of hands, it's going to bring us to things that I don't like. I know that probably seemed like a really quick, rapid-fire list of things that I like, but this is all stuff we've seen from Xiaomi before, and at this point, I expect. Great value, great device, and this hardware is a lot like the hardware that's been in most of their flagships up to this point. And with things that I don't like, we're going to start with the slider. I really am not a fan of the slider as a whole, and here's why. Up here at the top, the sliding part, you get a lot of dust stuck in here. Dust, lint if the phone's in your pocket. This is the actual earpiece right here if you guys haven't seen any other content on the Mix 3. This is just a hole cut out so you can actually hear from the earpiece. That also collects a lot of dust and lint. Not necessarily a bad thing, just something you need to know about before buying the phone, because I've only seen this called out in one spot, and the guy that mentioned it in his video got blasted with dislikes and in the comments down below. So please don't do that. I'm just trying to make sure you're aware of this before you buy the phone. The next thing I don't like, also with the slider, has to do with, listen to these two things. I'm going to pull the phone off the camera. What I'm going to do is try to jiggle this. It's kind of hard to capture there on camera. It jiggles ever so slightly, but you can hear it. And then when you text, if you text hard or fast, I'm going to use my thumbs, not my nails. It makes a noise there as well. So pulling it off camera, here's the attempt at a jiggle sound. And my attempt at letting you guys hear when you text or type hard. So I have no idea if those came through at all, but it is there, it does exist. Is it a deal breaker? Not for me, especially this. You get used to it when you tap hard and you feel a little bit of the phone moving. I mean, it is two separate pieces after all. It's just something that I didn't know about and kind of jarred me when I first used it, and something I think you should know about too before you buy this phone. So the slider is cool. It is a really cool phone, but it definitely does have its drawbacks still. The next thing I don't like is the phone is super narrow. This is a 6.4 inch screen, but it is very narrow. Unfortunately, I don't have a good reference to show you guys. I'll fire up my browser here so you can see my keyboard. I've got relatively large hands. I like big phones like the Max 3 and the Mate 20X, and this keyboard just feels really narrow. It feels really cramped, even at the largest setting. So for me, the narrowness of the phone is just too much. It's a 19.5:9 aspect ratio. To give you guys a reference point, most TVs and monitors are 16:9. So it is a very narrow device, very tall, not very wide. Could be a plus for you if you like having a bigger screen and you don't have very big hands, but for me, it's definitely a negative. The last thing that I'll mention is the battery. The battery life is admittedly better than I expected. I'm getting 5 to 6 hours screen on time, so that is really nice, but the battery could definitely be bigger. Again, probably a drawback of this phone being 2 separate pieces. And one more thing, I forgot to mention this when we were talking about the slider. I'm going to jump into settings here. You can see that when I slide down, nothing happens. And on most videos you've seen on this phone, if you've watched any at all, when you slide down, the camera opens up. And that's because you actually get the slider settings menu in this version of MIUI for the Mix 3. You can take a selfie, which opens up the camera right there. There's me. You can open tools, which is like an iOS style, you know, when you swipe up from the bottom. Or this open right here, you can open up an app. So I don't take a lot of selfies. So what you can do here is you can say, okay, when I slide, open up Snapchat, because I'm probably going to want to do a Snapchat or something like that. I really like that about the phone. And they give us similar options with this AI button over here. I can press it once and it launches Google Assistant. I can double tap and it opens up my flashlight, or I can push and hold and it fires up my camera. So once again, really cool by Xiaomi, giving us a bunch of different options in the phone itself. Now all of that brings us to the conclusion. The Mi Mix 3 is once again a great phone at a great value from Xiaomi, which is really what I've come to expect from them. I mean, half the price of most flagships that are out right now, get a wireless charger included in the box, great value phone. It really comes down to how badly you want to have a bezel-less, notchless phone, and if the trade-offs I mentioned are worth it. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch my videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.